Going from a skeleton to an absolute beast is simple, and I am not over-exaggerating at all. If you think that your metabolism is too fast or any of that nonsense, it's a clear indicator that you just don't know what to do. And that's okay, that's why you're here. And I'm gonna show you exactly what you need to do in order to go from a skeleton to a beast. But I'm not gonna do that by telling you the stuff that you have already heard a million times. I want to share with you the most important things that I have learned over more than 10 years of going to the gym. We all know that in order to gain weight, you need to be in a calorie surplus. Or at least I hope that everyone knows that at this point. If you are still brand new to this concept, it simply means that you consume more calories than your body needs to maintain its weight. So let me give you a 5-second rundown of how you do that so we don't waste any precious time. Go to this website, fill in your details, click calculate, and here it is, your maintenance calories. Then take this number and add 500 calories to it. This will put you in a calorie surplus. That's how much you need to eat every day to consistently gain weight. That is what it all comes down to. There is no, my metabolism is super fast so I need to do something really special. Forget about that. You are either in a calorie surplus or you are not. Simple as that. Some people might indeed have a faster metabolism than others, but the difference it makes is very small, and most people just use it as an excuse to cover up the fact that they don't know how to bulk up properly. Even if you were a genetic outlier and you would have one of the fastest metabolisms in the world, that still doesn't make it impossible to gain weight. You will just need a bigger calorie surplus. So instead of adding 500 calories as I recommended, you can add 800 or even 1000 calories above your maintenance calories. To be absolutely sure that the calorie surplus is big enough, you need to count your calories. Because if you are not very experienced in the realm of nutrition, you will absolutely not be able to just guess if you are in a calorie surplus or not. You just need to count your calories to be 100% sure. Plus, you have to keep an eye out on your weight. If it doesn't go up after a couple of weeks, then something is wrong. Because if you counted all your calories and you seem to be in a calorie surplus on paper, but your weight is still not going up, then you just messed up somewhere. You can't blame that on your fast metabolism. You just made a blunder somewhere along the way, and it's your responsibility to fix it. If you would like to prevent doing blunders and being stuck forever, I would highly recommend you check out my bulking guide. This guide will take you from a skeleton to a beast in no time. It will take your hand and walk you through the whole meal building process step by step in the most simplified way possible. Plus, it comes with bonus ebooks that will tell you about the best food sources that you should consume so that you can achieve your maximum potential. You can check it out by clicking the first link below. Alright, now with the super basics out of the way, let's move on to the real meat and potatoes of going from a skeleton to a beast. If you happen to be a member of the skeleton crew, my guess is that you have a very hard time getting your food down. Some people simply have a smaller appetite than others. But rather than complaining and crying like a baby, you need to look for a solution. Most members of the skeleton crew have one thing in common: they don't eat very frequently. And when they finally have a meal, they try to eat a super large portion of food at once. And saying that they struggle with it is an understatement. If you are having big troubles getting your food down, instead of trying to force feed yourself only 2 or 3 big meals per day, try to separate them into smaller, more frequent meals. This will make an insane difference. But of course, you gotta prepare for that. If you know that you will be very busy and most likely unable to grab food somewhere, you need to act. Abandon the mindset of, I will just eat more food later. Because both you and I know that that is a lie. You always need to grab something with you. A protein bar, bag of peanuts, some trail mix, or whatever else you can get your hands on. Well, maybe not whatever. You need the snacks and your overall foods to be calorie dense. That is very crucial, because these foods have lower volume but a lot higher calorie amount. And that is exactly what you're looking for as a member of the skeleton crew. Once you realize that 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, turning into a beast will be a cakewalk. Because the overall volume of food you have to eat will be dramatically decreased. Very good calorie-dense foods that you can use can be, for example, nuts, dried fruit, avocado, fatty fish, eggs, and some other ones that we will talk about right now. The number one bulking food that will make consuming more calories basically effortless is olive oil. Every time you cook a meal, be super generous with the olive oil. Just 1 tablespoon of olive oil is 120 calories, and you can easily put a couple of those into your meals. And the best part is, it adds basically zero extra volume. That's why it is so brilliant. Then once you are taking advantage of calorie-dense foods, you need to do the same with liquid calories. Liquid calories are a game changer, because you don't have to force some food down your throat. You just drink, which is much easier to do. Basically, the holy grail of going from a skeleton to a beast is milk. But we are talking about the real deal here. Squeezing juice out of oats and calling it milk is a crime in my book. You specifically need to focus on full-fat milk, which has the most calories. And if you are feeling fancy, get that full-fat milk in a flavored variation, which has even more calories. Going with the full-fat variation doesn't only apply to milk, but basically to any other dairy product, which is something you need to remember. There is absolutely zero point in eating low-fat dairy products when you are desperately trying to gain weight. There is absolutely no excuse for this. If you are a skeleton and you keep on eating fat-free yogurt, you really need to change that, because you are pretty much just sabotaging yourself. So always go for the full-fat variation when you can. A brilliant trick that you should adapt is combining calorie-dense foods and liquid calories into one. And you might think, how? Well, it's really simple. You can go ahead and make some kind of homemade heart gainer shake, where you once again utilize full-fat milk and toss in maybe some peanut butter and bananas and blend it all up, and you can easily have a 1000 calorie meal just by drinking one shake. Having one shake like that every day will help you tremendously in your journey to gain more weight. But after a big shake like that, or any other meal that just makes you feel really full, you always do the same thing. You feel full and sluggish and you lay down. But that is a big mistake. The best thing you can do when you are stuffed is to go take a walk. This will help you feel better a lot quicker, plus it's going to renew your appetite much faster than if you just laid in bed for an hour. I know it doesn't sound very effective, but you have to trust me on this one. You really have to try it out for yourself to see how game-changing it truly is. Because you really have to try everything in order to increase your appetite. Because once your diet is set up and you got all your meals planned out, you actually need to eat all of them. I can't even tell you how bad it is when every other day you skip one of your meals. Imagine that the one meal you skip is like 600 calories, and if you skip it frequently, you are basically erasing the whole calorie surplus you set for yourself, and there will be no weight gain whatsoever. Then you can go back to blaming your fast metabolism or whatever else you feel like blaming it on today. It's the harsh truth you need to hear. You are not special, you just keep on making basic mistakes, that's all. And one of those basic mistakes that we still haven't talked about is that you really don't need to overly focus on eating only clean foods. I know chicken and broccoli is the bodybuilding classic, but if you try to bulk up only eating these super clean foods, it will be so much more difficult. And when you are a skeleton that seems to not be able to gain weight no matter what, you need every small edge that you can get. So instead of eating only super lean chicken breast, implement some fattier meats instead, which will once again help you get in more calories. And even implementing some fast food from time to time can be an option. Definitely not every day because you don't want to feel sluggish all the time, but it can definitely be used when you are super tired and you really don't feel like making any food. Yeah, of course, fast food is unhealthy, but as a mega skeleton, you just need to get in more calories. So it's still better to order fast food than if you were to completely skip your meal and not eat anything at all. So, if you are on a journey from a skeleton to a beast, I hope you found this video useful. If you want a full step-by-step guide, you can still check out my bulking guide in the first link below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Hopefully, not as a complete skeleton anymore. Hey, click here to watch another one.